Alright lads, so today we are back onto Braves because right now we do have access to a new Limit Breaker quest to try out for this particular month. We did have one a couple days ago, and I'm a few days late to this one, but I've yet to attempt it, so I do want to see how far we possibly can go, considering that for the most part I don't have the best team that we can use here. Slot number 1, what you are going to see wants to bring a power ranged holo killer, so specifically Jugram, right? Slot 2, you want to bring the new Christmas Nini, or the one that has recently returned. And then slot 3, you do want to bring Rukia. So right now, I'm really just working with what I do have. So for slot number 1, we are going to bring Gremmy. Since we are going to get the range damage ×2, we're going to get the killer effect. And also, Gremmy's a pretty decent character, especially considering that I do have him max transcended. We do have to keep in mind, though, that we aren't immune to freeze plus, so that's something that we have to dodge. But right now with this particular team, honestly, my goal is to try and get into stage 24. Not beat stage 24, just get into it. And hopefully with Gremmy here, that does allow me to do that. Slot number 2, again, we do want to bring Nini. But in this case, Rukia is a speed character and also a melee character. We aren't getting the killer effects, but we are immune to Weaken Plus, and we also are going to have our increased statism and chance because we are going up against Quincy's. She herself does have a stun rate to kill her. And then slot 3, my best next character really is going to be Renji. For the sole purpose here of, despite him being a technique character, he is getting that range damage ×2. I believe we do have to worry about the Weakening Plus. Never mind, we are actually immune to Weakening Plus, fortunately. But the main thing with Renji is that we're really relying on the burn and lacerate to deal our damage. So even though his damage output is a little bit nerfed here, given that he's the technique character against power enemies, the fact that we're going to be constantly burning and also lacerating hopefully is enough to get us through. So quickly going over the builds, we're going with standard stuff here, these 3 accessories on Gremmy. We're going with these 3 soul traits. For Rukia, exact same build. Every character is going to be using the same accessories. I'm finally getting to use the free-to-play Con Link, a really good link in the game, giving recharge, stamina recovery, an extra long stride, and also more berserker. Can't go wrong with that. And then in this case, because we are using 2 technique characters, your links more so are going to be a little bit spread thin. But fortunately, I do have a good set of links here, and we are using Yoruichi to give a long stride, so I don't need to do that through bonus abilities, and instead I can go with full stamina and more damage to lacerated enemies with the bonus abilities on Renji. So with that said, that's the team. Let's see how far we can go. Now, I feel like I said this every time, but my LB and RB is what I use to use my EX attacks and also, flash step. Fortunately, right now, it looks like my RB is working just fine. I was going to say, does Gremmy have a long stride? He does. But man, the double long stride is definitely noticeable on Rukia. Man, that is absolutely insane. So in this case, fortunately right now, the freeze pulls don't look to be that... Okay, I say it as I literally get frozen. But it doesn't seem... I do not have long stride on, right? I don't think I do. Okay, that's one thing we're going to have to change maybe for our next run. But look at Rukia speeding. This is why I really want a, Let me just hold down the SA3. Really want that Con Link to be in every attribute, if possible. Let's go here, SA3. So these enemies have Iron Skin. That's new, right? Yeah, they have Iron... Is this poise? Do they not... Wait, hold on. Do they not have... Oh, they have Iron Skin because Jugram doesn't have poise. Am I correct in saying that? So I guess nowadays we're going to see characters with either Iron Skin or Poise on the final enemy. That is different. I guess it's fine. I mean, every character can deal with Iron Skin, right? Every character wants to inflict status, I'm going to say. Damage output's pretty decent for our, first attempt here. They are quite tanky, though, even though they have Iron Skin. Or maybe that was Poise. I don't know. I'm confused. There's new icons, though. SA1 into the 3. Okay, they have poise. Never mind. So we're actually poise breaking right now. So that's kind of funny because Jugram doesn't have poise break, if I recall correctly. I guess in this case we can just use the EX now for extra damage. Unfortunately, it looks like the HP for these enemies are significantly higher because Rukia, despite not having killer here, damage output right now doesn't seem super crazy. So yeah, really we're just looking to get into like stage 20 plus if possible. Try and get all the rewards. Bit on the slower end here. Usually I like to be into the next rotation after like 3 minutes or 3 minutes to go. Let's charge the SA3. Fortunately, Renji here should carry. Look at the damage right now on this character. Look at that. Man, Renji's a beast. Just love to see any character with Lacerate and Burn. Either or especially both. So good. SA1. There we go. So we're like a minute behind what I usually like for at least stage 25. But I'm pretty confident we can get into stage 22, I believe, to get all the Spirit Orb rewards. And again, I might, maybe to be fair, having long strides on Renji would be a bad thing. Not Renji, I keep mixing up the names. Gremmy? Because we actually more so need the extra damage than the long stride, to be fair. Let's just wait. SA1. Alright, SA1 again. This room's quite big, annoyingly, for Renji. I'm going to save my SA3 for the next stage, because that should be the poison enemies, right? Seems like it. Okay. Damn, that's annoying, but luckily we can actually get back into full stamina. Let's SA1. Terrible strong attack 1 there. Missed an enemy. Let me just SA3 here. Damn, the enemies are up here. And then go in here. Let's Soul Bomb 2 to get rid of them. Get through this stage quick. And hopefully that means now with the team boost that we are giving to our team, it means that Rue can clear a little bit faster too. But yeah, these enemies are tanky. Okay, we should be able to clear after these 3 strong attacks. There we go. A few more. Right, hopefully Ruki doesn't fail us here. SA1 into the 2. Unfortunately, no damage over time stat as augments. Hoping, I guess, to see like the next really good character, maybe 11th anniversary, does have some damage over time stat as augments, because it just means they age better for content like this. Okay, SA2 into the 1. Let's EX again if I can. SA1 again, SA2. Maybe I want to use EX on Gremmy again. I think that might be the play. So we're definitely going to retry this again. Because right now it seems like 17 is going to be highest. That's crazy, by the way. I normally always get into 20. But I am missing 2 of the ideal characters. And maybe Ruki is not quite cutting it out here. But I don't think I have any other alternative option. SA1. Let's EX. SA3. Charge it up. That's insane damage from Renji. We really can get into stage 20 or 21. So let's go back, take a step back and see where we need to improve. So yeah, stage 7, top 28%, that is horrible. 7 and 8, 44 and 39 seconds is kind of bad. And then we did like 43 and 55. But let's see what we can change. So part of me is thinking maybe I can use Ichigo, because he is going to get that team recharge, and maybe we can save a couple seconds, but I don't think his damage over time is going to be as good as Ruki is here. So I think we want to stick with this team, which is going to change how we approach stage 7 and 8. Alright then, so second attempt, here we go. So again, the plan now is to use the EX on stage 7 and 8, the very first poise stage with Renji. I keep mixing up the names with Gremmy and also Rukia. So with Gremmy's EX boost, we're going to be able to probably use it twice. And it's going to allow Ruki to clear faster too, so that's one of the benefits of having an EX attack like Renji. I keep mixing up the names again, Frozen, with Gremmy. With Gremmy. Alright, let's SA1 upwards. Into the 1 there. And we need to try and not get frozen, because we need every second we can get. Especially as we saw last attempt, where Renji almost got into the next stage in just under, like, if we had like 5 more seconds, we would have got into the next stage. But Renji is such a fun unit to play with, man. Really hoping he becomes a fill-up sometime soon. Maybe that's too much to ask for. Oh, but we did see it with Uryu. Now that is tragic that we missed. Let me EX. There we go. Back up to full stamina. All my strong attacks to follow up. Keep the enemies in the corner. Use our normal attacks when we can. SA2 again. Into the 3. Definitely much faster here. Our damage output's a little bit low because we're waiting for the enemies to get unparalyzed. Like now, for example. And there we go. That was much better. At least it felt much better. Let me try and dodge the... Never mind. Kind of wasted that strong attack. free there. I'm thinking maybe I want to use my strong attacks, then come down and get the box. I might have to do that next time. Maybe same with Renji. Or Gremmy. I keep mixing up the names for some reason. Right, a few more strong attacks to go here. Let me make sure they're all frozen before I use my SA2. Okay, much better. 3 minutes right now. And Reggie's going to come through here. There we go. And we hit them. Lovely. One enemy did not want to get hit. But there we go. So do those enemies have Iron Skin? I'm confused on what the new icons are. I'm pretty sure the shield one is Iron Skin. Alright, so yeah, this is definitely the play. If you're kind of replicating this team, definitely use your EX attacks in the first room. Because that saved us a lot of time here. Let's just use that SA2 here. SA2 upwards. Into the SA1 there. And then we'll just free here. Didn't get frozen, fortunately. Can we kill with the SA3 here? Almost. One enemy or a few enemies got left alive. SA1. Alright, so now big stage here. Let's SA1 upwards into the 2. Oh, we actually killed those enemies. That's really good. Let's soul bomb now. And then when our SP boost comes off and reapplies, we'll use the EX again. Let me actually use my mouse this time just to guarantee we get it off. There we go. Decent damage here. Unfortunately, we got frozen, but we did actually reflect it, funny enough. Rare for the element reversal to come in effect, but we take it. Or to be handy and useful. There we go. 1 minute right now. Surely Rookie doesn't take too long. SA1. We're going to wait. Just store time a little bit. Right, SA1. Into the 3. SA2. I think we should leave with like 30 seconds to spare. I would like to hope so at least. Is my boost already like gone off? That's kind of unfortunate if we lost our boost. EX goes off. SA1. Okay, come on. We need all the seconds we can get. Few more strong attacks to go. Few more strong attacks. Again, we're leaving it like 30 seconds. SA3. There we go. And again, Renji shouldn't be too bad here. We should clear pretty fast. EX. SA1. Into the 3. 17 seconds. Can we get into 20? I actually don't know. Yikes, we missed. That's not good. And he's dodging. Oh no, maybe we do need long stride. Come on. SA1. Into the 2. And we just get into 20. This one's tough for me. I think I can definitely push it, though, into 23, 24. And that way we do get all the orb rewards. Or not, we already got all the orb rewards. But to get all the, what do you call it? You know, all the actual Transcendence points. At least we got the rainbow, though. That's like the main thing. But damn, if you ain't got the new characters, it's more so slot 2. I think, to be fair, 40 seconds and 41 is on the lower side. It's actually very slow. And that's a max Transcendent Grammy. It's a little bit tough when you can't rely on status element over time effects, you know? Damage over time. Because, yeah, 41 and 48, we were faster, though. So it definitely feels better to use your EX boost on stage 7 and 8, and then use it again on to stage 16 and 17. But Renji, man, there's a reason why Renji right now is one of the best characters in the game, especially for Limit Breaker. Look at the clear times on this character. 13 seconds on stage 9, and then 18. We cleared in 12 seconds. All right, we're going to do it. We're going to try Aizen. He's a power range character. Yes, he doesn't have Hollow Killer, but, and it's a big but, he does have a really good EX and also SA2 and Soul Bomb, which when we get to the poison enemy stages, they're going to get inflicted with Dominate straight away and also allow us to probably clear those stages faster. We're likely going to clear a little bit still with Rukia, but with the added time, we might actually be better off just using Aizen. I probably should have done him straight away. All right, then here we go. So let's see how this should be a lot better, right? Maybe it's my fault for not instantly thinking of Aizen straight away, because damage over time, stat augments are king in a content like this when the enemies have a lot of HP. And in a way, it only gets better as the enemies get more tankier. Right, a bit slow on the SA1 there, but should be fine. And there we go. Let's SA1 here. Into the 2. And then SA1 again. We are taking a hit here, but we should be able to get back up to full stamina by the time we next use Rukia. And then SA1 again. So back onto Aizen. Let's SA3. We do actually kill that. Let's SA2. Unfortunately, I've been frozen, but it's fine. Let's use the EX. SA2. Into the 1. I need to get that one enemy, again, right now. As long as they all get inflicted, we're kind of fine. So this is where it slows down a little bit when some enemies don't get inflicted. But with all the hits and Frenzy +2, they should go down pretty quick. This last enemy right now being a bit of an annoyance. There we go. Much faster than Gremmy. Definitely does feel like it. And in this case, let me go hit SA1. Hopefully, it grabbed the box. I kind of didn't want to grab the box, but it's fine. It's EX. Soul Bomb. Maybe we Soul Bomb next time with Rukia. Truth be told. That might be a little better for us. Because I think with Aizen, we're guaranteed to inflict stat augments. SA1. SA3. There we go. And then Renji again, as expected, is going to clear fast. It's SA2. Look at that, man. So 3 minutes is much better. Is what we're going for. So I'm kind of wasting a lot of strong attacks here, but it's fine. Next room, that's SA1. Going to be a bit slow here. SA1 again. But again, usually I do like to get into the next rotation with at least 3 minutes left. So right now we're looking really good. Dodge out the way. A little bit slow on the Renji stage because our strong attacks were all used, but it's fine. SA2 here. SA1. I'm going to try not get too close. Because remember, the enemies are like grouped together, and as you get closer to them, they start to split apart when they become active, if that kind of makes sense. So sometimes if you have a beam, it's just better to stay far away. Okay. SA3. And then SA1. So now back into Aizen stage. We have 19 seconds before we can use our EX, but it's fine. Let's just SA2. Alright, here we go. So we're going to take it slow. SA1. Into the SA2. Into the 3. Then use our EX. SA2 again. One enemy, I believe, is not getting inflicted. It's kind of annoying. SA1. A little bit slow, but there's, again, one enemy hopefully can get inflicted soon. There we go. SA1. Dodge that. SA2. Come on, just inflict it. There we go. It's a little bit annoying. There we go. We could have cleared 10 seconds faster there. If those enemies didn't, you know, not want to get procced. So let's solve them now. Could we just reapply our SP boost? SA1. SA1 again. Okay, we should leave by like 45 probably. SA2. Just a few more strong attacks. One of each should get us to go. SA1 again. Surely the SA2 finishes there. There we go. 45 seconds to go. It's pretty good right now on time. And we actually hit them. Lovely. I'm just going to tap the SA3. 35 seconds. There we go. Let's back up. SA1. We'll free here. Then use our 2 just to make sure they do die. SA1 hit. Bring the enemies close. Never mind. Bring them close to us. Okay, so we definitely should get all the rewards here. Get an SA1 before the enemies activate so they don't split apart. And then this is probably where we stop. Oh, that's not going to get all the rewards, though. Hold on. There we go. Okay, we actually did get to 22. And you know what? I'm going to do this again in my own time. But we can definitely beat this stage. Again, with the Aizen stage, there was 2 enemies that just did not want to get inflicted by status ailments. And that did slow us down. So we did clear. We're now top 15%. 48 was, yeah, we could have cut that down to like sub 40. Sub 40. And then using the Sobamon Rukia stage definitely is the play because we did clear faster there. So yeah, if we had those extra 10 seconds, we would have at least got into stage 24, 25. Not clear 25, but at least got into it. So there we go. Like always, when we do beat a new Limit Breaker quest, because I believe it does go to 22, there we go, all the rewards. Not like we're missing much. It's only 10,000 Transcendence points, but I do like to try and push as far as I can, when I can. All the orbs, all the Transcendence points claimed, and then now let's have a look at what we are looking at in terms of Transcendence points, because I haven't, again, transcended a lot of characters. But we are currently on 5.1 million, which is actually really good. Again, when it came to transcending characters last year, if we can actually have a look at that. Let's talk about special move level. Last year, I only did like 4 characters. Technically 3. It was Giselle, the other Giselle, when they both came out. And then Shunsumi, I got really lucky getting max transcended. Uryu, I only recently max transcended with the most recent banners. So technically we don't count him. So it's kind of rare for me to max transcend new characters. And I don't believe there's any recent character at like level 4 that is somewhat close, if I recall. My luck, even though I went to step 25 a lot of times, hasn't been the best in terms of duplicates. And to be fair, I do have a lot of Transcendence items. I have 1 move source in Technique and Heart. I have 2 in Power, 3 in Speed, none in Mind, unfortunately. And I do have 6 Rainbows. I have since cancelled my pass, so the Rainbows are now going to slow down. But this is like plenty of resources, special move sources, to last the entire year. And right now, my plan is to probably max transcend the next core 4 characters. So we are going to get 3 core 4 characters this year. Hopefully I can get them. And with that in mind, I do plan to max transcend them. Just for the hype itself, right? It's likely going to be cool characters. It's only 3 characters from core 4 that's going to happen likely during the 11th anniversary. I want to make sure I get them and max them out because they're going to have that novelty, right? We've never had a, actual character appear in an episode and then release at the same time. That's going to be really cool to see. And I do want to have them max transcended. So hopefully, with that in mind, they're not a Mind character. I mean, maybe they will be. But by the time I'll have, like, sources to max them. We'll see. We'll see. And I'm also going to have all the Transcendence points. Either way, that's the video for today. That is my Limit Breaker team. Definitely recommend using Renji in slot 3. You do not need Nini. In fact, I probably believe Renji clears faster than Nini or even Rukia, because technically Rukia can be used in slot 3. Definitely use Renji in slot 3. Slot 2, it's a bit of a sticky one. I guess right now, Rukia and Nini are the best go-to characters. In slot 1, definitely use Aizen if you have access to him, or any other Aizen, because there's like 2 other ones that you can use. But either way, hope you liked the video. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.